And this is the temple of Mother Mary. So one of the reasons why I'm recording this is because, you know, so we've been trying to, so after all that shit went down, we finally put it on the market, and I thought it would sell right away because it's pretty special property and all that, but it didn't. And I was really enjoying it. I started putting it on Airbnb as this temple space. I felt like, yeah, this is meant to be shared and enjoyed, and you know, I thought about renting it. This used to be my room. This is the spot where there was my bed, and I cried, and yep, a lot of sadness in this room. Now it is the temple of Mary Magdalene. It's very fitting. I had, when we moved into this place, I was 10 or 11. I had this dream that, you know, I would go to my high school prom, and my boyfriend would come in through this door, and I would be at that landing with my dress, and I would walk down, and, you know, it never happened. I don't think I even went. I went to senior prom with like my friend and a guy that we just went as friends, and yep, never had that experience. Kind of sad. This is the temple of Isis. This is the living room, formal living room. I love that table. Oh yeah, so this is the kitchen. Yeah, my place, any place I stay in Korea is probably going to be like half the size of this kitchen. This is the family room, and it is the temple of Green Tara. That is actually my own shamanic painting in front of the fireplace. I may talk more about shamanic paintings later, but it's like a mirror. It's a painting of my soul, and it shifts and changes depending on what level of awareness I'm at. I'm realizing I find it difficult to walk and talk at the same time, to tell you about the rooms and then actually talk about. Okay, so one of the reasons I'm making this video right now is because I feel like this is going to sell while I'm in Korea. So when I put it in the market about a year ago, it didn't sell immediately, and I was surprised, but then it was kind of cool because I ended up getting into this whole renting it for Airbnb. I had thought about renting it many times because, you know, all those months and years that it was just sitting empty, and like I said, it just something we had to like clean and air out. The reason why we didn't is one, because we kind of thought it would sell like pretty quickly, and we wouldn't, you know, want to have to deal with renters and all that. And two, the furniture here is really nice, and so my mom is she didn't like the idea of, you know, just strangers being in her house, which I totally understand. And from my part, I didn't want the hassle of having like temporary renters. I thought about it, but I also felt like the house wasn't in the good enough condition to be like a hotel. Like I just, you know, I felt like it was dated, and the house itself is beautiful, but like, I don't know, I just felt like it wasn't good enough. And then, but interestingly, when I invited the goddesses in and I actually saw each room as a temple, each room felt completely different to me. So even though I didn't actually change the furniture or do anything, it was like I saw the beauty, and I was like, this is an amazing space. Like, it's so much better than like sleeping in a regular hotel or, you know, one room in a house. So I started to Airbnb it, and then I felt like, oh, the energy is moving, like it's going to sell soon, and it still didn't. And there was a part of me that when I did first get the hit to move to actually Portland and then Korea, a part of me was like waiting for the house to sell, because I just felt like my parents have a lot to deal with. I've been kind of handling this, and it just, I don't know, it just felt more spacious. Like it made sense. Like, okay, you know, I'll be here, take care of this, let this sell, have my parents be settled, and then I can move on, you know? And the message I got was, this temple is a representation of my body, right? So it's not going to be free. It's not going to find its home until I do, like find its home, meaning find its owner. Because one of the things I realized is, just like this, like I've been taking care of the space, but it doesn't feel like mine because it's not. It belongs to my parents. So there's kind of an energy there that's not clear because, yeah. And it's the same with me. Like as I'm living partly fully in my parents' houses, either this one or in the house that they actually live in, it's like I can't fully be myself. And I've been trying, and that's been part of the healing, because I felt like I need to learn how to be wholly myself no matter who I'm around. And I was like deliberately not moving just because it would be more comfortable if I moved. I mean, yes, there's a level of comfort living with my parents in the sense that, my basic needs are provided for, right, at an economic level, and I love my parents, but it's more comfortable in general for me to live alone, and I could, I'd have to probably get a regular job or whatever, but I can manage like I have all the other times I've lived alone. So for me, it was like a conscious decision to stay with my family because I didn't want to just run away and come back again. I didn't want to repeat this pattern. And so when that intuition came in about going to Korea, I didn't trust it at first. I'm like, maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I'm just being restless. And again, I kept telling myself, I'll just wait till I've saved up more money and this temple sells and kind of, but the decision came on suddenly, and I'm going to share more about that later. It would, like, logically, right, it would seem to make sense that this temple would sell like when I'm here and I'm taking care of it, and but I actually really feel like I need to let go of the idea that it's like that's my responsibility to somehow make sure it's sold before I go, and that just like I can't be totally free within my parents' house, like I can I feel like I've done as much healing as I can within that space, like, and at some point it's like, healthy and necessary to move out, right? Although I do want to live very close to my parents, I'm gonna get way into that when I'm in Korea. There's I see like the healthiest way of living as kind of being near your actual relations, not necessarily in the same house though. So, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, and so I feel like I might not have access to this house when I get back. That is the point. And so I wanted to honor the goddesses that have been with me during this time of transition, and just show you guys the house before it might not be mine, or yeah, I might not have access. This is the formal dining room. And this is the master bedroom. This is the Temple of White Buffalo Women. It's palatial. Yeah. I might as well just show you it all. This is the master bath. This is the office, my father's golf trophies, and my typewriter. And so I'm saying goodbye to this temple, and I am thanking the goddesses for their support. Sometimes I would just sit in each of their rooms and I would receive messages. And yeah, it was in this house that I finally kind of learned to, or not learned, but felt comfortable actually. Like I found my own rhythm with my body, which I've been trying to do for my whole life, right? Like not wake up at a certain time because I should, or exercise because I should, or meditate because I should, but actually want to, and and have it be of ease and something that fits me, and not just I've always tried to figure out like what's best, and then how to stay committed to it without feeling trapped. Probably my favorite part of the house is the deck, and this I dedicated to Lilith. It is a huge deck, and my brother got married in this backyard, which I'm happy, because I think my mom had this, idea that we would get married here, and I'm glad he did, because I don't believe I am. And that's the Chesapeake Bay.